But if you understand this, you will not make mistakes. See, this is what called as IP default network command in EIGRP. IP default network command. What does it mean? Why do we need it? If this is the edge router of your autonomous system, the edge router will be learning about 7.7.7.7, 17.17.17.17. I said 777 is like Yahoo. 17.17.17 is like Facebook. This is your ISP. Your edge is connected to ISP. But we will not be willing to advertise these networks to the inside routers. See, if it is two network from the internet, it's okay. What if 1 million network is coming from the internet? Will you send all the 1 million to your small inside routers? No. That will take more buffer, the memory buffer, the process, the bandwidth, and so on. We will not do that. So instead, what we want to do is, we want to tell all the router inside that if you want to go to 7.7.7 or what 17 or whatever, this is the meaning I want to say. Edge will tell to every router inside whatever the network that you want to reach and you don't know how to reach. Let me repeat. Whatever the destination, it may be Facebook, it may be Yahoo, it may be Google, or it may be Amazon, whatever the destination that you don't have the route in the routing table, you need to just simply forward it to the 20.0 network. That's all. So just one single route you will dynamically provide using EIGRP, using that default route. That's why we call it as default network. What is default network? The network that can take you to other networks. That one network that can take you to all the rest of the networks in the world. So if the routers inside R1, R2, R3, if they know that one network is ISP's network, that 20 network. If they know that one network, they will send it to ISP and ISP will take care of it. ISP can take you to Yahoo, to Google or to Facebook, anywhere. So making EIGRP to advertise the default network is what we are going to do. IP default network command with EIGRP. IP default network with EIGRP. This is what we are going to do. If you don't have this option, then you have to write default route 0.0.0, the static default route on every router. That's not really easy. It's not easy. Going to every router, putting a static default route that you learned in that CCNA level. We are going to make EIGRP to advertise the default route to all the inside routers from this edge router. That's our aim. Router A is the edge router here. So router A knows about all the internet works. Router A is our edge. This knows about Yahoo, Facebook, Google, everyone. But A don't want to advertise all this to B to reduce the space. So what we do is, we do in A, IP default network configuration to say this ISP network, you see 172.31. ISP network is responsible for all the unknown networks. Then we write a static route that can be used by the EIGRP to advertise this default network. So you have defined a default network. The default network need to be advertised to inside EIGRP neighbor. If that needs to happen, the route should be seen in the routing table first of all. That's why we write a route statically, so that the route will be seen in the routing table. The default network will be seen in the routing table. The route to reach the default network will be seen in the routing table. And by using the EIGRP network command, we advertise the default route. So instead of simply going as a D, it goes as D star. Why it goes as D star? Because it is not simple network. 172.31 is not simple network. It's defined as a default network. As a result, on B, if you ping anyone in the internet, see, just 2 routes the B has got, but still you will be able to reach 100 networks from here. It is because it will use this default route and send the traffic to A, and A will send it to all the 100 routes. A knows all 100 routes. A is the edge device that learns the route from the ISP. But B don't have any route except the default route and the locally connected network within the office. So that saves your manual configuration, the static configuration of default route on every router. You don't need to configure manually the default route on every router, typing IP route any network 0000, any subnet mask 0000. You don't need to do that. But the secret here is on the mask that you specify. ISPs, mostly they will give you /24 or /28. You need to write class full default network, route for class full network 172.31. Only then it will work, which means the summarization should be on. In the newer version of EIGRP, the summarization is off. So you need to on the summarization by saying auto summary. In the older version of EIGRP, auto summarization is on by default. Right? So we're going to do this right now. I'm going to take exactly the same topology which you are seeing right in front of you. I'm going to build the same topology. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 routers I need. One will be edge, 1, 2, 3 is inside, the other one is edge, and the other one is ISP. Let us do. Yeah, so need to understand where what IP address I'm going to configure. As I said, the 777 and 17.17.17 is going to act like internet works for us, internets like Yahoo and Facebook. Edge router should have the route to reach this Yahoo and Facebook, so we need to write the static route. Usually in the real world, BGP will bring you, BGP will be running here, BGP will bring you the routes. I can configure BGP and do things more complicated for you to understand, which I should not do, so I am not doing it. I'll simply write a static route. Alright, I'm on the edge router where we will have this 3 interface configured, and then I got the ISP router where we will configure this internet networks, and we got the inside R1, R2, R1 is almost ready. Yeah, R1 is ready. R2 is also almost ready. And R3. We got all the devices ready. Yeah, so all that I need to do is just put the IP address, start the configuration. Won't take much time, okay? It won't take much time. I'll just finish it now. This I'm doing for ISP router. On the interface G00, as per the plan, it is /24 mask. And then for the return traffic, for the traffic that is coming to the ISP should respond back to the LAN. So usually we do the NATing on the edge device. Because we are not going to do the NATing, I am now bound to type default route, IP route. This is all for the scenario. So you don't need to worry about these things. You don't need to do all these things in the production for IP default network. In production, this all will be already working. NATing will be already there. That's all on the service provider side. We are not running EIGRP on the service provider side. Next is we are going to configure the edge device. For edge device, I don't want any loopbacks, but I have on edge device G1/0, whose address is 10.1.0.1/16. No shutdown. Likewise on G2/0, 2 here. And then G00 will have 1 here. Alright, mask is 24, that's right. And this is not needed. If you want to keep this one also, okay. This is also okay. Need not write precise route. Okay, so I'm going to paste this on the edge. On the edge, I'm pasting this. Now, still we have not started anything related to IP default network configuration for EIGRP. For that, I'll be writing another static route in this edge router. Now let's go configure R1 is going to have 2 here, and there is no other interfaces, and there is no need for static root. That's it. This is what on R1. On R2, this is going to be 2 here and 1 here. R2. And at last R3.
R2 IP address should be not 2, right, sir?
Yeah, sorry, that's right. R2 it should be 2. R1 is 2, R2 is also 2. Now on R3 it's going to be 3. Now we are going to now configure EIGRP. See, on R3 I start EIGRP, router, EIGRP. I'm going to give 10 as the autonomous system number. I have to repeat the same 10 on all the routers. Next, network. I simply say 10 network. And I want to see whether the auto summarization is on or off. Off is good for us. Show IP protocol. It shows that automatic network summarization is on. It is not ineffective, it is effective here. Is in space effect. Not one word, ineffective, not in effect. In effect is opposite of effect. So it's effective means it is on. It is on. In some version it will be ineffective, it will be together. Don't get confused. So there won't be any problem here. Let's go and configure EIGRP and the other 2 routers. Router EIGRP 10, network 10. Boom. See, the adjacency has already come. Let's bring another router. Router EIGRP 10. The only network we have is 10. Now, I'll go to the edge router where we need EIGRP. On the edge router, I say router EIGRP 10, network 10. So when I say network 10, EIGRP will be running on both the G1 and G2 interface. You want to see that? I will show you. Show IP EIGRP interfaces. You see, I just put one network command. It is running on both the interface because both the interface begins with 10 in the first octet in the IP address. Right now, I'm not running EIGRP on any WAN facing interface. This is WAN facing interface. I'm not running EIGRP, but I want to advertise saying IP default network is 20. I want to advertise this to all the inside router R1, R2, R3. For that, I need to have a route. Without having a route in the routing table, you cannot advertise it. So I'm saying 20.255 is via G0/0. I have a static route to 20 so that this 20 will be advertised by EIGRP. And this 20 is already declared as default route. As a result, if you see show IP route, you will see S star. Static default. Okay. So I want to check whether the summarization is on show IP EIGRP or show IP protocol. Summarization is right now effective, good for us. Next. We also have a default route configured earlier. That's why this one. So don't worry about this. If you don't want to have this, then you need to write specific routes for 777 and 77. Let it be here. No problem. This will not be advertised. EIGRP will not advertise this to the insiders. It will advertise only what you asked to advertise. So for show run section router EIGRP, I have not advertised a 20 network. So right now, if you ping from R1, you will not be able to ping 777. You will not be. Why? Router 1 don't know the route. Show IP route, router 1 don't know the route. You don't know anything about 777 or 17. But when I advertise the default network from the edge using EIGRP, see, I go inside the EIGRP and I advertise the default network 20. As soon as I do that, you will see a route here, D star. Look at this, D star. Using this, you can ping anyone. See, I'm pinging 17. Though there is no route for 17, I'll be pinging. And though there is no route for 777, I'll be pinging. You know, this is the power of IP default network command with EIGRP. You can also test this from R3. Show IP route. You can ping now 777 as well as 17. Yeah, you have the reachability. That's the end of this class, IP default.